All right, and we are live. Good. It's good afternoon here. I'm in Indianapolis, the Midwest of the U.S., and my name is Kalinda Shichinda. Welcome to Bantu TV. We are on this day, the good day of January 21st. It's our first podcast this year after we took a break for the holidays, and I hope everybody else had a good rest, which most of us needed, to celebrate the holidays. And what a way to start this podcast, our first podcast in the year 2024. We have the one and only, like you can see him, all ready to go, despite everything else that was going on today. Of course, we'll talk about football at some point because we can't just, without football. So anyway, let me bring the man to introduce himself. Who doesn't need any introduction for us here in the diaspora, but Mr. Mianda Malaiti. Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yeah, you've tried. It's me and
Ah,
Dalaiti.
right. Okay. Go ahead, sir. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, yeah, I'm me and Dalaiti. I'm a social activist, and if you like, people like referring to me as a praise singer because we are considered praise singers because people feel it is okay to praise Lungu and not HH. So praise singing, according to most of the PF guys, is a term that was coined in order to mock whoever wants to say something good about HH. So we
Hmm.
adopted that name and we are proud of being called praise singers. So I'm a proud praise singer, and I usually like to say my job is simple. My job is simply uh, finding the strengths in our president and amplifying them. So at times I may be irritating because I'll overhype even a small borehole that has been sunk in a place that have not had water for 40 years. I'll hype that achievement, and so it looks like in some instances in some instances people think I irritate people, in short.
Hmm. Well, when they say that you erase people, that means that your impact is being felt. That means that people actually watching you and listen to every word that comes out of you. So I appreciate you for that introduction. So right now, let me bring in the man himself, my co-host from out of Canada. Uh, Mr. Chulufia, you want to introduce yourself or reintroduce yourself to the world. Mr. Chulufia, what are you doing there? Are you still watching the game by Chulufia?
I think he has
We
a
can
challenge,
see.
Mike.
Oh, yeah. Switch your mic again. You haven't set that mic up, Mr. Chulufia. Switch your mic. All right. So as Mr. Tulfia is getting himself situated, I guess there's no easy way to start the new year than just to go ahead and delve into our topics for today. And it's a full package, of course, like we do every Sundays. So this week, we had the news from Minister Sylvia Masebo, the health minister, announcing to all of us that um, the government has decided to evacuate uh, Mr. Chishimba Kambwili, the former Ron MP, former information minister under PF, for medical treatment either in South Africa or India. And certainly, that just hasn't sat very well with most of us, me included. Okay, so before maybe I think Mr. Sophia is ready. Mr. Sophia, before we start, please come in and
Yes.
introduce yourself before
Yes.
we
My
get
name
into
is
the topics.
Chanda Chilufia. I'm the co-host of this lovely program. We've been doing it for some time now, and we'd like to welcome you, Bamianda. Thank you very much for taking your time out of your busy schedule, of course, to come and join us and discuss, real issues that are affecting Ifebena, Zambia. Like I was listening, I came in, sorry guys, I came in a little bit late. Of course, to watch us
Yes,
celebrate.
before you go back to the Sophia, don't
Yeah.
just jump into the introduction. First of all, an apology is needed here.
Yes, I apologize for the Zambians, for everybody online, for coming late. As you are aware, we were playing a very brilliant game today, and kwachwako celebration ikaliako kwebati. I couldn't hold myself, but yeah, we're here at
What's
the
there
end
to
of the day.
celebrate? Well, but anyway, that's a question for another day. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean that's about it. So thank you, like I was saying, to Amianda for coming to join us, and of course we're looking forward to discuss a lot of important issues that affect us Zambians here and everywhere in the globe. So Yahweh, we thank you, and let's keep the ball rolling.
Oh yeah, so we're talking. I mean, I was just introducing our first topic, Mr. Chichimba Kambwili's evacuation to either India or South Africa for medical treatment.
Mm.
Your views, gentlemen, and we're going to start with our guest here, Mr. Laiti. Did I get that correctly? I'm getting there.
Excellent,
I'm getting there, Mr.
excellent.
Mianda. I'm getting there. I'm pretty sure
Excellent.
my aunt at Shikatende village, obviously you can see Mr. Sophia smiling, is not happy about that.
Yeah,
Maybe mispronouncing such a
yeah,
very lovely name.
yeah.
Go ahead, Mr.
To start with, it is very disappointing that 60 years, 59 to be precise, years after independence, these are politicians that are always boasting of infrastructure development. And in their boasting, they include having built big hospitals, having put in place health systems, health facilities, and now that it is a politician falling ill, we decide to quickly evacuate such a person. It is embarrassing. 60 years, 59 or 60 years after independence, we are still evacuating our people for medical attention. This is not something we are even supposed to be talking about here, Kalinda. I feel ashamed
Mhm.
that we are talking about evacuating people that have been in parliament where they are supposed to be talking about these things, yet they find it prudent to be talking about their salaries, to be talking about petty issues, to be walking out of parliament when we still don't have sufficient medical facilities to be able to sort out basic illnesses. We still 59 years after independence, we still have members of parliament spitting at each other in parliament, slapping each other in parliament when we still have such issues. The evacuation of one Chishimba Kambwili that has been in parliament is very embarrassing, to say the least.
Mhm.
We must, by this time, be proud of using the hospitals that the same politicians claim to have built. We must have put these things in place so that we can have whatever we need within our country. So, given the same condition that Chishimba-Kambwili has and has been evacuated for, someone in Shikatende village, someone in Muntemba village where I come from, that has no privilege to talk to high officials will never be evacuated. Will never be evacuated. We should push as people, personally, as an activist. I want to see a Zambia where ailments, illnesses like the one Mr. Kambwili is being evacuated for are attended to within Zambia. As politicians, we should get to a point where we go beyond partisan lines to be able to advocate for medical services, such medical services to be provided within our borders. Vachirufya, banakulu kumushukumienu, banakulu kumushukumienu that has no access to Sylvia Masebo's office will die in the village because we don't have such kind of services.
100%.
Yet politicians are evacuating themselves.
Chachine.
Yet politicians are evacuating themselves. It's something we should be ashamed of. I'm ashamed of such a thing for praising these politicians, yet they are not putting in place such basic things. I've been known, I'm on record of having sung praises for our politicians. Yet when it comes to such, I want to distance myself and openly criticize our leaders so that we get to a point where people start doing things correctly. I've been telling people to say most of the things most of the challenges that we are facing as Zambia are tied to either policy or wrong laws. Wrong laws, wrong policies. As such, we will keep having such kind of problems. Yet the elite, the privileged, will continue being evacuated. As my relatives in Chibombo wallow in poverty and struggle to get basic treatment, we as people that are privileged will continue using our connections to get evacuated. Today, as Mianda, who's close to some of these offices, if I fell ill, it is easy for me to have access to some of these offices. But when you look at this whole thing, you understand that there's something at play that we need to get rid of. Elitism. Elitism is one animal that we need to get rid of in Zambia. So elitism can only be gotten rid of if we get to a point where services, basic health services, are provided by the smallest clinic in the rural areas. But under Chila Kalipa, to see a person die, we still have maternal deaths. Abantu barefwa pakupapa.
That's true.
60 years after independence.
Just to chime in on what you Blayland and let's just to chime in. You brought up a very, very important point. Mwalanda, after we got independence in 1964. After all these years, Tatulakwata, an ultra-modern hospital that can deal with all the issues under this earth. Kulaba sometimes you even have specialized hospitals, but Iria Shiria Kushta evacuate I'm a politician has been going on for a very long time. And I think we need to put up a deliberate policy, or the current government we should set up a deliberate policy whereby even a politician or a high profile person get that service within Zambia. I don't think that his illness is all that complicated whereby even paritage kutuba filo kuchita diagnose no kuba posha wino. I highly doubt it that it's that complicated. I may not know exactly of
illness. Of course, we cannot discuss his illness. But I'll tell you, the problem here could also be doctor-patient ratio. Currently in Zambia, we have a situation where one doctor is attending to 200 to 300 patients in a day. We are overworking the few doctors that we have. So among the things that could help us improve the system is one, employing more doctors. Apart from that, also equipment. Are you aware that we still have people, cancer patients, booking say maybe after a month or 2 months when a person is critical ill?
Yeah, I've heard about those. Yeah.
The evacuation could have come as a result of maybe a plea going to these offices where a person says, system is fully booked. We cannot wait for 3 months. So kindly evacuate our people. But what we are simply saying is, if Mr. Chishimba Kambwiri can be evacuated, let your grandmother in Chifunaburi, Bachirufia, also be evacuated.
Kumpika.
Today in Zambia, we have a situation where, people are discharged kufuira kunganda. Twalampera kufyo muti kabieni, even when a person is still not okay. So we personally, I feel we need to do more. We need to do more as a nation so that we deliver on the promises. Personally, being a UPND praise singer, I want to see the people that I praise breaking their bonds, breaking their back on some of these issues, so that we get to a point where we deliver on campaign promises. In fact, we get to a point where we deliver on campaign promises. We cannot continue on such a trajectory, business as usual, when people from the lower brackets in Zambia, lower brackets of communities, are dying out of manageable illnesses. People are still dying of malaria. People are still struggling with the opportunistic infections. Yet as politicians, we start passing favors to each other. That is not acceptable.
No, it's not.
That is
not
acceptable in the past life, in this life, and in the life that is to come. Nobody will accept such kind of.
Echo ndira njebere moneni. Irianga bachita pass deliberate policy iria. It to force our ministers, relevant government officials to work hard to make sure that wakwata facilities whereby they don't even need to go overseas for treatment. So if Ngabalanda, if you're sick, no evacuation. Get the specialized treatment you need within the country, within the soil. Okay, when that happens, tukakwata more employment, people will be hiring more specialized doctors, ABCD, and the government is trying. We cannot lump everything on the government, but it's been a trend.
That's good. I think we're going. We're going in tandem here. I still want to know, as as a citizen of the Republic of Zambia, why did Mr. Chimbekambwili get the fast track treatment of being, airlifted to foreign countries for treatment?
Mm. Okonachilaya, that's where I was going. Yeah,
Why? Because,
that's
like
where I
I
was
said,
going.
my aunt
Mm.
in Shikatende,
Mm.
who has, various ailments, doesn't have that privilege.
Mm.
Or my uncle at Ch- Chief, at Lugualo doesn't have the same access.
Mm.
Why?
Why?
I thought
Yes.
we, as a new dawn, okay, removed, or we are sympathetic to the thousands of people out there, because these are the things that used to happen in previous governments. And when we went out to campaign, we said we were going to look at everybody equally. So, what message are we giving to that person who woke up at 1 o'clock or didn't go to sleep on August 12th to vote for um, Bali and his government? When we
Mm.
promise them, we are all equal under the law, what
Mm.
makes Kishimba special? And also, I need to talk to his doctors, because obviously, Bathsheba Kabuli has a history of feigning illness at every arrest and convictions. Let's not forget that.
Yeah. No, you know
All
what?
right.
Like you know what? Like the why. I think the big question is the why.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, you have to look at the other side of the coin. For some reason, Ngata, the government wouldn't have responded to evacuate him. Abantu nga balebule, mamona echechi, ni revenge, echechi itaba bwino. Bonse
But
abananko,
Mr. Kambuli
you
has
know?
a history of feigning
Mm,
illness.
mm.
Let's not forget, not just
Uh,
yesterday, we were calling Mr. Chimba Kambuli Mr. Chifentelo, because every time he got picked up, he would faint, an
Mm,
illness, or he would faint at the
mm,
hands of the policemen. I mean, he has a history of that.
mm,
Achirufi
mm,
Bakambwili has capacity
mm.
to find his medical bills.
I
That I
agree.
can tell you. He has capacity.
Mm, mm,
He has capacity. The wife is in the UK
mm,
earning. He has companies that have had contracts for some
mm,
time in them.
mm,
He has capacity
mm, mm,
to fund his medical bills.
mm,
As of some people, if you went to UTH today, you find people that are almost dying because
mm,
maybe they can't afford to
mm,
buy medicine, maybe that are worth just 2,000 kwacha or
mm,
500 kwacha.
mm,
Yet we choose to spend money on
mm.
a person able to to collect money from his companies
Mm.
and that bill.
70 properties, 70 properties.
Yes,
He
it's
I
on
claims
collect
record.
rentals every month.
That's why I'm asking, why are we footing his bill? Why?
capacity. If you can't make money, if you can't raise money from rentals, sell one and remain with 69 properties so that you fund medical bill, your medical bills, as opposed to a situation where now that you are not okay, you want to heap the whatever on government. I just don't know for Twaba Fwebena Zambia Chirufia. My blood boils. My blood boils to see a situation where even personal failure is lumped on the shoulders of HH. People that have never worked in their life today want to say, hey, number HH Nashirwa, when they've been failing since 1964
Mm,
at personal level.
mm, mm,
What should change? Should there be change? in your life, Bachirufia, if you've been failing since 1964. So because President Achinja, suddenly magic should happen in your life. Indala mashilingiro kwambo. But this issue we are talking about, these are very serious matters that we are supposed to look at beyond partisan lines. You know, we like politics. This country is too politically charged to a point where we cannot sit and have decent conversations like the one we are having today. I'll tell you, it is the poor, the same poor people that we speak on behalf that will be paid 20 kwacha to come and insult you, Bachand. As we are speaking now, these are issues that are very hot. We are talking on behalf of poor people that can't afford medical bills. Yet, politicians are handing themselves opportunities. Chishimba Kambwiri has 70 properties, according to his own mouth. He said
Yes.
and 70 properties have capacity to fly him into London and go to any expensive hospital.
Doctor. I thought the wife was a doctor or something.
She's a medical.
No, she's a nurse, I think.
Well, still, I mean, I'm a nurse for Gindalama overseas. Oh, they get paid a lot of money. She can even, deal with that bill herself as their wife. There's no need of the government to come in. Government. I don't know how the whole thing started.
It's all political. It is people that were going there. Basanga bale tutuma olo babe bawe tabali bwino sentu bafuirishe. Sentu bafuirishe, and as we speak today, I don't know whether he has been evacuated already, because such matters at times I don't pay attention to them personally. Because as we speak now, are you aware that there are UPND cadres with bullets, living with bullets in their bodies? There are UPND cadres living with bullets in their buttocks. Can't evacuate such kind of people, yet we find it fit to evacuate someone that has capacity. And I just don't know the kind of politics UPND is playing.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head here. So for everybody that's watching in, please, as always, please comment down below. I will highlight your comments, and if you want to join in, we'll share the link for you to click on to order the discussion. So I think enough on the Cambridge case, and obviously this is an ongoing story that we will continue to comment further as it develops. So now we talk about my favorite topic of the week. You want to guess my favorite topic of the week? Oh, no. Bola and Kunanda last you first. We want to talk about my traditional husbands. You know, the Barrosi agreement. So I mean, we had the president run a commentary on it, which I definitely agree with. Where he says, there's no country called Barroso, we're all Zambia now. So let's talk about the separatists, my husbands. Well, I mean, this has been a running commentary for like forever. I mean, we saw that video that went viral last week or the week before, where we have those. Let me just throw a disclaimer. Losses, okay. Read my lips. Don't come after me. You started it. So
It's
anyway,
very complicated.
yeah, we have. I mean, it's not
So
complicated. I think
Mm,
there's a few disgruntled,
mm,
nosy
it's not
men and
complicated,
women.
but Chilufya, but
mm,
It's a few disgruntled, nosy and women
you
mhm,
know how
who have failed
and
to read that agreement. Mr. Miranda,
do you
as a man in Zambia, I will give
mm,
you the mic first. Your
mm,
comment on that.
yeah, so if you have a look at the Barose agreement, I've been reading it through and through to try and understand and also see whether there is a proposal of secession that most people are talking about. The Barose agreement basically just talks about the rights that the king was supposed to have, rights to fish, resources, and all.
mm,
So in short, they agreed to be part of Zambia as a unitary state, and agreed that they and only claimed certain powers and privileges for their king. So they said they would be in charge of the fish, resources, and all. So to talk about seceding, this is something that is out of the agreement. As such, it is neither here nor there. When they agreed to be part of Zambia, they
Mhm.
agreed to be tied to the constitution of Zambia. So the constitution of Zambia provides that Zambia shall be a unitary state. So by even entering that agreement, it shows that they agreed to what the constitution of Zambia said. So the issue of seceding is just merely political. It's just merely political.
And
So
also, Mr.
I
Mianda, I mean, if we go back to the history, okay, yeah, we saw the agreement signed, they were part of it, and we saw the steps that were taken by our founding president, Kenneth Kaunda, in actually going to Parliament in 19, 65, I believe, if my history serves right, to try to get the Western I mean, actually, now renaming Barotseland to Western Province. And then in the 1970s, he went back to Parliament to then agree on the rest of the steps. And the losses were part of this agreement. So to come
yeah,
now,
I
40 years later, to say that, oh, well, we never signed it, we were not part of it, when they were all along the way, all these steps, they were part of it. And most of those people who are signing that agreement were more educated than my poor teacher, Mr. Kenneth Kaunda. So
very
this is
true.
where I don't get it. Anyway, let's bring in some. I think we have people that have joined in.
mm.
Let me
We got
start in
visitors.
with. Is that Lamek Bulo or
Lamekimbulo.
Chilufia? We
I
have Lamek Chilufia and we have Lazarus Bulo. So let's start with the person that joined in first. Lazarus Bulo. We are talking first of all. Mr. Kishin Bakambuli's evacuation to um, uh, foreign lands for medical treatment, and then the Barose. Your comment on either one before we go to Mr. Lamek Chilufia.
Mm.
Okay, hello and good afternoon or good morning,
Good
everyone. It
afternoon
depends
or
Good
good
where
afternoon.
you are.
evening.
Thank you so much for putting on this discussion. It's very interesting to discuss all these issues going on. Of course, I think it's very interesting. This situation. It's a of course it's a sad situation that is in that condition, and of course it needs all the help. But it's very challenging because a lot of Zambians, are experiencing different health conditions, and you don't get that medical treatment even like at UTH, which is supposed to be our best hospital. So I think it's a reflection of how much we invest in our healthcare system,
Mhm.
and to start to think how best we can improve our healthcare system. Well, we don't have to be making this tough decision to decide, okay, maybe because this one is a politician, we have to send him to South Africa or India or elsewhere. But we need to be able maybe to invest in our healthcare system. Uh, and I think we have seen some private sector coming in as well. If we can also build up on the private sector to improve our healthcare system. And then the other thing is we can consider how well we can contribute. I think it's MMD, if I remember quite right, they introduced some kind of a health insurance where everybody was contributing something, a little, even just a little. So there's additional funds to be able to invest in our healthcare system. And I think the other thing is we need to look at prevention and more than just treatment. I think even our Ministry of Health is more focused on treatment than prevention. I think we need to be able to also focus on prevention, because I've seen, like in Zambia, we're seeing people having like cancer now, advanced cancer. We are seeing high blood pressure. Some of these we need to be able to put in place some preventive measures, put in place some measures where we can be able to identify maybe cancer at an early stage. So our primary healthcare system should be able to identify, like pre-diabetes, pre-blood pressure, so that we can be able to be identifying and address those before they become so serious to address. But yeah, it's a very difficult decision when it comes to the health of everybody. And then for the Western Province, I think there are so many difficult issues we're dealing with. Like now, it's how many years? 60 years after independence, we're still dealing with cholera. So I think the issue of secession is not so much of a big issue. I mean, everybody, even me, I would have like my own small little part, but we are one. So if we can group together, work together, and identify what are the key issues we need to address. Poverty has been one of our challenge. Instead of spending so much into seceding, because essentially, if you create a Barrosi country. So we have basically two presidents, and we have to be paying two presidents, protecting two presidents. But if we have one president, so we have minimum resources spent on administrative. You know, just think of how strong the country like the United States is, because they are like 50 plus states. They are stronger
Mhm.
because they are all united. But if each state, Texas says, I want to be a country, California, the US won't be a big, powerful country. And that's the challenge in not just Zambia, even Africa. If the whole of Southern Africa, for instance, we can be united. I mean, for instance, there's this discussion about BRICS. And from Africa, we have South Africa. South Africa on its own is a small country in terms of economy and even the population. But if South Africa can bring in all those Southern African countries, let's benefit from BRICS. What can we benefit from BRICS as Southern Africa? Then we'll be able to benefit more than start to break ourselves up. Okay, those are my contributions.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Mr.
much.
Molo. That's a discussion for another day.
Thank you.
While we Africans we're trying to work together, the Europeans are trying to go. They're trying to divide themselves, and the reason I say that Brexit. Okay, moving
Mm.
on. Moving on, back to Lucia. Your comment on Western Province before um,
Yeah,
I cut you off to bring in Mr. Boyne.
I think I'll tackle this topic in on a different angle.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you look at the history of all African countries that have actually, divided themselves, right now as we speak, they're in problems in terms of political, economic wise, in terms of the people suffering. Nothing has ever worked. Sudan was one country at one point. Now there's Northern Sudan and Southern Sudan. Just look at the political tension that is there. Continuous confliction, war. This one's fighting this one is fighting this. But at the end of the day, they're one people. You know, they might have different, beliefs. Some are Christians, some are Muslims, but they are the same people. They marry each other. This one marries this one, this one. So putting that line between the country, if you had to say, okay, fine, Western Province, you're on your own. In order for you to come into Zambia, you have to use a passport. That would be a disservice. Zambia has been working and has succeeded in the way it has been for so many decades, and we've been a pillar of peace in the region, in Africa, Africa, as a whole. We've helped to gain South Africa their independence, Botswana, Namibia. It's because we've been a united front all these years. Now, we decide to say, no, let's split Zambia into half. What's going to happen? The worst is going to happen. There will be no developmental programs that are going to happen. You'll find that one sector or one region will be very, very, very poor, and the other one will be very, 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 rich. And at the end of the day, people will start fighting each other. So we don't want these kind of conflicts. If they if this kind of topics, this kind of people coming up with all the kind of ideas that no, we want to be a separate unit. If they
Yeah. So
people will start fighting.
All
when you
right,
look
Mr.
at this,
Chulupiamana, listen, let's go back to our guest. Mr. Mianda, please. I think we cut you short before
yeah,
you were finishing your train of thought. Please come in.
yeah. So what I was saying, what I want to say is that of late there's been a pattern. We first started with Umozi Kumawa, a group of people that claimed they belonged to Eastern Province and that they were representing the people of Eastern Province. Among the things they were demanding is that they produced a list of people who they claimed the Easterners wanted to submit to HH for consideration. The next thing we had was also the Cola Foundation is simply rising. Just after the Cola Foundation issue subsided, just when it died down, we saw one lousy man with a jacket come in front of the camera.
Go ahead.
So talking about Barose. So when you look at this pattern, you personally, I'm able to smell PF in this whole thing.
Mhm.
I'm able to smell PF in this whole story because they are particular people that anytime you hear something being talked about and immediately it is on PF pages. It does not, you do not need to be a prophet to understand that this is something that is cooked by the PF. So what are they trying to achieve? They are trying to divide the nation because they've realized that their lies have caught up with them. They've not had a campaign message for some time now. You can go the whole day calendar arguing with a PF cadre. The best line they will hit you with is HH Nafirwa. HH Nafirwa tamulinda lama mu circulation. So I was asking someone to say who should put money in circulation. There's never been a time when there's never been money in circulation. When money has never been in circulation, you need to tap into the circulation and earn money. So the big challenge here, also this will die. That's why you saw our president coming out strong to speak like that, because it was a trap. The first trap they had set for the president was on the rainbow community. They wanted him to say something so that they cook up propaganda. When the president avoided that topic, they kept pushing. So they've started this tribal thing. The next thing you hear now that the president has responded is they are fluffies, they are propaganda fluffies. You've heard Mukula, that failed priest, that young boy failed priest, talking about the same. When did Mukula become a spokesperson for the laws? You've heard the boy talking now. He's saying, hey, abalozi batukana balitunga. What are they trying to do? They are trying to create trouble in the country so that the country becomes ungovernable. So that the country becomes ungovernable. They've kept scheming every day. I've survived a number of PF schemes, Karin. And I keep telling TNT that the problem they have now is that they've been trying to reinvent politics. Politics in Africa is a beaten bush. People have been there. There's a reason why MMD practiced a certain kind of politics. They were there for some years. They tried this kind of church politics and discovered it was not helping. So they went to a point where they started practicing politics that Boma and Lusambo will understand, politics that Kampiongo will understand. Those are people that can't debate with you for an hour before insulting you or telling you whatever. They have a specific type of politics that they understand. This is why even now, when you sit with any person that they will send from PF, the best you will get is tukakumona 2026, tukakuma mukabutuka mu Zambia. That's the best they can do. So as it is now, all these things you are seeing are things that are simply aimed at making Zambia ungovernable. There's a lot of money changing hands, Karinda. There's a lot of money changing hands. Apart from these tribal arrangements, are you aware that they've created a movement for young people and money is exchanging hands? They've paid musicians, they've paid bloggers. Go to TikTok today. After 3 videos, someone is saying Ubungana Budula. The 4th video, fuel, a well-funded project. I've been approached with a 500,000 kwacha, which I should have been chewing by now, had it not been for my principal. They followed me and wanted to pay me 500,000 kwacha to stick to one particular message of saying HH Nafirwa Wakaso. Why did they follow me? Yes, I was offered 500,000.
Mr. Mianda, I would have collected that money. That's the problem.
Who said no pushing?
Yeah, that's collected and look the other way.
I mean, it's not, there is nothing legally binding you from refusing to do what they wanted you to do. Kushi said no pushing.
Those are public funds.
Yeah, but the
not that money.
Is you are dealing with the devil himself. So you can't trust the devil. You will collect the 500, just walk 3 steps and the deck will be on your neck. The next thing is number kupera abantu amabags yandalama. They will not agree that money has come from them.
Yeah, no,
So
that's a good point.
That's very interesting. Submissions there, and it's sad to hear. Sitting in from the diaspora and listening into stories like that coming from the motherland.
A lot of people that are not principled, some actually have been paid to keep quiet and not defend the president. Yeah.
So,
yes.
Mr. Miand, I think you raised very interesting issues. I think these guys have even taken it to a higher level. Of course, they got a lot of money. But what's the strategy to address all these different strategies they're using? Money, of course, the internet, the social media. What's the strategy to stop this kind of misinformation, as they call it, and to stop or to educate people at least about or being aware about these strategies?
That's why we're here, Mr. Ambulo. We're doing just that. Anyway, Mr. Mianda, go ahead, answer.
Or it starts with each one of us, then we spread
the first mistake that UPND made is that up to now they've not demobilized. Every time you are going into a campaign, there's a kind of mobilization that takes place. Some people in the diaspora put in money in campaign ya UPND and were promised to say, we'll take care of you, we'll give you jobs. So immediately you form government, it is very important to give feedback to people. It is very important to have meetings, explain to people whether you will be able to fulfill the promises that you made or not. Among the people that helped UPND are people that can't read and write. And so they can't form cooperatives. They can't be employed by government. They can't apply to CEEC. Yet these are the people that when us people that are a bit educated were beaten, we ran into our homes. People that can't read and write are the people that were facing PF head on. After forming government, the message we have given to these people is not uncommon. As people have been waiting to hear the way forward, as people have been waiting to hear the way forward, the new spokesperson, the Minister of Information and whatever, comes on TV and says, we have no special package for our supporters. So what do you think has been running on the minds of most of these supporters? In short, I'm saying we have not demobilized as a party. To demobilize means to get back to the people and say, we can only employ so many people. We can only empower people in this way. For you people that are waiting for the party to empower you in this way, we'll find means and ways. That's how you talk to your people. So what has happened is that there is a very big vacuum that UPND has left, which the PF is working on. Because they've noticed that there's general fatigue and dissatisfaction. As a result, they are taking that as a weapon. Our people are being mocked every day, Bakalinda. Bajirufia. Our people are being mocked every day. Personally, I'm among the people that are laughed at when Toyota Arion but to support Ulumbaba president. Ula renting highway but Ulumbaba president. If when a number in any never PF but in the quarter contract kumopani. Tulianama ministers venu. This is what we are taught by PF cadres. So who will go and defend the president and the party when contracts are being given to PF cadres? Who will defend the party? So these are some of the things that the party is supposed to seal so that we create a united force in dealing with these misinformations, these half-truths. So as we speak now, when this problem started, we communicated to the leadership. Some of the among the people that fought us, Bachirufia Bakarinda, are people from the UPN because they thought myself and my friend were on a payroll from State House. When we offered our services free of charge, our own party members ran a campaign saying if on our party. So because I was on our party, I opted to go quiet. So now that we've gone quiet, exactly the kind of politics that we brought in defending the president is exactly what the PF are using, exact method, except with them, they pay their people. All people you see saying Ubungana Budula are on a payroll. Are on a payroll. Are on a payroll. So we are working with a force. We are working with people who have sponsored pages versus my page that has 16,000 people that is not sponsored. So when I post something, I'll depend on algorithm for me to be able to reach 1,000 people. My post will reach 1,000 people in 3 to 5 days. When a PF sponsored page will reach 300,000 people within a space of 2 days. So who will communicate more effectively? So even if we started talking about, these are things we've been communicating to some of these leaders. We've been saying these things from the onset. We are supposed to have had a number of people that have pages that are well sponsored. I have personally used my resources. No person today can claim to have given me any coin. As I speak now, I challenge people to challenge me whether any person from the UPND has paid me anything. I've not been paid anything. I've used my personal resources up to a point where I decided I've spent too much and my business has now started going down. This is when I've now decided to concentrate on my business, because these are things we've been telling people. The methods we came up with, my friend Frank Zimba, of countering propaganda, the methods we came up with are things that the PF told our members to say, but when the campaign went up and we were frustrated, the PF is using the same method that we were using to spread falsehoods. So how then today are we going to counter people that are well paid? How then are we going to counter?
So you guys, are you done talking to the leadership, or where are you? Are you just giving up and letting, PF?
Who haven't we talked to? Who haven't we talked to? We have lives that we lead. I run a business. I'm not going to continue collecting money from my business to do things for a party that is in power. I'm not going to continue putting money, sponsoring a page to do stuff for a party that has appointed people that have never sweated on any political ground. Yet they can't contribute to the party. Go to the secretariat today, it looks deserted. So how can you coordinate that? How can you coordinate a party? Go to the major UPND page today. See when last there was a post there. Huh? So the moment today, even if I decided to say, maybe the same UPND people in structures who now think I'm paid. This is why I've started talking again. They will come for me. Nimweba muleria. Eh? Nimweba muleria.
How the patriotism of favor name? If you don't need to be paid. You know?
So who runs the secretariat?
Also, when I think for me, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't politically minded or such, but I'm a political writer from way back when. But when has politics in Zambia become to a point where it's about how much money you get to sell your beliefs and ideology? When did we get here?
I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you the truth, Kalinda. Politics today, as we speak, for me to go live, I'm live now. Are you aware that by the time I'm done with this live, I will have consumed between 2 gigabytes to 5 gigabytes.
No, and how much is that?
50 kwacha.
Okay.
So if I'm going to be going live every day, in 10 days, I'll spend 500 kwacha. If I'm not paid, the party should mobilize money for my bundles. We are not asking. We are not asking to be paid. There have been times. At one time, the president came to Lufwanyama. He came to Copper Belt, I mean. I spent my fuel running around to capture some of the events. Yet the political advisor to the president came with people from Lusaka for what?
Do the same job. So maybe there's no coordination there, because if the presidential advisor knows that there are people on the corporate belt that can do the same job with, like the people he has, why not communicate with you guys? And so the president is coming and this is a budget.
We've had several meetings with these people. Bakarinda, I can give you numbers to these people. Start calling them, see whether for the next 2 years you get any concrete thing.
Well,
so
that's
maybe the secretariat issue, as you said. Who runs the secretariat? Maybe they need to make maybe the secretariat more professional, because then the secretariat can have access probably should have access to HH, and then they can be able to be built into the system, have access to some information. And the secretariat make it more professional, and then they can be able to mobilize some funds to be able. I mean, if you go back to like UNIP, what made UNIP thrive was they had the secretariat, and they are down to the word in the community. So there was that connection. So I think maybe that structure is missing in UPND, or that's something that really needs. So we need to start with a secretariat, functioning secretariat. Of course, that should be separated from government, but has access, of course, to the people in power.
Yeah, very true. I mean,
Yeah, very true. I mean, some very,
the-
revealing information on this discussion today. We didn't plan to go there. We still have topics to talk about. So
yes, let's
let's
dive
bring
in.
it in. Let's bring it in. I can actually, you want to introduce the next topic?
The next topic, the
Yeah.
pom-pom. Okay, so we've talked about the Barossa land, and next I think it's what we call the Starlink.
Oh, Starlink. Yes. I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm. Starlink, and I don't know. Did we talk about cholera and the situation and what's going? Cause
No,
that's
that's coming after the Starlink. I think let's quickly talk about the kids that the government was did from Starlink to um, you know um, getting all public offices, especially in the remote parts of Zambia, on
mm,
the internet.
yeah.
I think
That's yeah. That's a
that's
very
go
good
ahead,
move. I
Bachelor.
mean, that's a very good move because I've been working in the telecommunication industry for the last at least 7 years here, and Starlink is something that's a different beast on its own. It has come on the scene with a different type of approach, especially targeting places like here. Believe it or not, here in Canada, quite a places are bati takwaba internet. For you to access internet, it has to be through satellite or AMA systems, what Starlink, using AMA satellite systems. You cannot have, there's no fiber lines going, there are areas like that. So it has come at the right time, right place, because they don't want to live in the city. They want to live far out now, 100 hectares of land, no neighbors. There are some people who live like that, but you need internet because everything right now, the world evolves around the internet. And Qualiva, there's a mobile, there are two types, Qualiva, where you can actually have like a mobile kind of a Starlink system. You buy a gadget which comes with like a little dish, and you can actually move with it anywhere in the world. All you do is just park your vehicle, connect it, and you place it up. It's a small little dish, very powerful, and you have access to high-speed internet anywhere. So it doesn't matter where you are. But the system itself, the way they built it, you'll be able to access internet. No kubomba. Like in a rural area setting, especially I'm doctors that they send rural area settings, for you to do your reports and communicate with the Ministry of Health and tell them, at the speed of just touching your button, say, Kuno, this is what's happening. Kuno kulikorera kuno. And we can be able to access it right there and then. I think it's a good move. That's because we need to move with the world. The world is moving at a very fast pace, and ichalo nomba chiripa internet. And if you don't have access to internet, you're working in the village. Nobody will know if there's an outbreak of any disease or there's something going on, or people won't know. Not until months down the line, that's when people realize that, there was this happening somewhere in Shangombo, somewhere in Kaputa, somewhere Kusamfia. So it's something that's at least going to put our people into one basket, and we'll be able to sort out our issues. Yeah.
Oh, great. Now, before we go, Mr. Mbula, before we go to Mr. Mian again, to comment on that, Mr. Mbula, your thoughts on, this partnership between government and Starlink to get internet into remote part of the public offices in Zambia. Your thoughts, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. They just need to be very transparent about it, and they have to be clear, especially with the relationship with the existing providers. So how do we work with the existing providers? They're already providers who are providing and benefiting from this. Of course, the cost is Starlink going to be much cheaper than existing providers. How do the existing providers do they support this? And then how do we make sure the people in remote places, not just remote places, even just in Lusaka, not everybody can afford internet. Is there now, you can access it on your phone, but how many can afford? So how much is the cost going to be for Starlink? So this has to be clearly explained to the public. The connection, how you can access it with your cell phone, and how we can be able to benefit from this. And then there are some services where we can be able to be able to use this. For instance, now we have the cholera outbreak. So the Ministry of Health should be able to use Starlink, but we just have to make sure everybody can be able to access Starlink, even on the phone. The phone is much cheaper than the computer. So definitely it's something beneficial, but we have to educate people. How can they access to it? To be clear, what's the cost going to be like? What will be involved? And then it has to be clear, because we have existing providers. How is Starlink going to work with the existing providers? Are the existing providers open to having Starlink? Some of those things need to be clearly ironed out. And then the sustainability. How long is Starlink going to stay there? Is it just for a short period of time? And is the government going to pay for Starlink, or Starlink will be able to make its own money? So I think some of those things need to be clearly explained, because we don't want Starlink coming there, and then if we do something wrong as a country, Starlink will say, "We'll switch you guys off." you know? So how independent, and of course, there's some maybe confidentiality issues. Can government use Starlink and protect their data on Starlink? So some of those things need to be clearly explained to the public. But definitely, it's a good idea. Thank you.
No, Mr. Mbula, it's about levels. It's about levels.
Yeah.
And what I mean there is that, and I think we just lost Mr. Mianda. He says he's having network issues in Zambia right now. So we appreciate his hour that
He
he's
needs he
shared
needs
with us
Starlink.
so far. Mr. Kalapozi, he disappeared. Hopefully he comes back. So anyway, here's the thing. Here's my understanding from talking to people in Zambia and you, me using internet in Zambia, of course, and my experiences there. So Starlink, they charge. I think they whatever deal they have with the government. I think it's because the government facilitated them. Their operations in Zambia. So it's. I would like to believe it's a relationship where scratch my back, I'll scratch your back kind of arrangement. Where so Starlink is providing all these yeah, equipment and the services to government offices based on that, and to me, really, in terms of saving money, I think that's the way to go because as it is, the Zambian government is poor. They don't have money to spend, especially for high-end internet service providers like Starlink. So on the market, I guess the charges are it's 15,000 for a Starlink router that they sell to any given person, and then they have different levels of internet speeds that you can subscribe to. anywhere from 1,000 to I believe 10,000 or 10,000 if it's a business kwacha. I'm talking kwacha people, not dollars. So I think if you're doing well, and the speeds that are offering from what I'm hearing on the ground, um, it's a good deal. So as far as the other service providers like Zamtel, Airtel, MTN, whoever, I think usually when I'm in Zambia, I like using MTN because you buy a router, which is about, I think the last time I bought was about 1,000 or 1,500 kwacha, and then you subscribe, and also there are levels there. You can start at 500 or 300 and go up depending on your usage. Now, I can't speak for Zamtel because I haven't used it, or the other one. I've never used it. So the other companies, I mean, they'll just have to. It's competition. I mean, it's
Mm.
like here. You have a choice of using fiber optics. Like I have Comcast, and I because I use the internet, and I have a son. He's a gamer, so you understand when I
Yeah,
say he's a
but
gamer.
if I at least a gig.
Yes, I have 1 terabyte in my
Mm,
home
mm,
of internet.
mm,
I mean, if you think about it, it's very obsessed. That's just too much.
mm,
I think for me, you know, uh, 30, 40 gigs, I'm good. Why would I pay 1 terabyte? No,
mm,
that's because of the child I have. He's a gamer. So
mm,
that's why I was saying, Mr. Bull, it's about levels
mm.
and
That's
what you
very
can
true.
afford.
That is
Yeah.
very, very true.
So
Man,
I
and kind of,
don't.
like Starlink itself is it has, like I was saying, it has two types. There's the mobile and the residential
Hmm.
services.
Hmm.
Okay.
And they come in different speed levels. You can get as nowadays. I mean, really, internet. You can start from 50 Mbps going up. I mean, that's good. I mean, even if you're watching a movie, because minimum you need to watch Netflix, it's between like 5 Mbps to watch Netflix. So
Hmm.
if you have 50 and and again, it depends on the household. Mwababanga munganda.
Yes,
Yes. So that's also,
exactly.
it comes into the equation. So if you have
Yeah.
like Rakalinda is saying, she has a son who's a gamer, and I know people play online gaming. They want the internet to be real quick because they're playing with other people from different parts of the world.
Hmm.
So if you have a gamer, it's a different situation. But if there's nobody gaming, mwakwata fyo tuba no tu no, when they're just watching YouTube, I mean, depending on how many you are, you can get away with a 50 Mbps, 100 Mbps. But if you really want that fast speed, you have to go to 1,000, which is about a gig. So
Yeah.
all those things. So you choose the package that suits your household, and
And your
then
pocket.
yes, and your pocket,
And
and
your
then
pocket.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then there are competitors. They just need to adjust because this actually will keep them on their toes to say, look, if they're able to provide a service in a very deep area, and they're able to go in and provide internet, then we need to up our game. We also need to have that kind of technology to do that, because
Exactly.
they don't have it. So them Starlink, they're going into a market where it's untapped. That's the smart way they're doing it. But there are areas where people, they need the service, but they can't access it. So they go there, say, fine, we can access. All you have to do is buy the equipment at the
Yeah, and
beginning.
everybody's buying
Yeah,
equipment
yeah.
because
At the
even here
beginning,
we
it's
buy
expensive.
equipment. Even
At the
equipment
beginning,
here is
it may sound
expensive.
expensive because you have to buy the
Yeah.
equipment at the beginning. After you buy that equipment, the number you in a monthly what you'll be paying every month. Once you, I don't know how it is there, but it's like every month you have to pay a specific amount. There, I don't know whether
Well,
it's
I mean,
weekly.
now here's what the problem with that is
Mm,
that over there is that if you some of these mobile companies they charge you by the amount of like Mr. Mianda was saying by the amount of gigs you're buying or what is
oh,
it? Yeah, so if you
So
exhaust
it's not
that,
unlimited. So because if we know but
it's not like
it's
here where
unlimited.
we paid monthly, okay? So that's
Yeah,
why you see
it's
when I call my
unlimited.
friends,
Mm,
like
mm.
they're always like, "Oh my goodness, I don't have bundles. How long do we have to talk?" Because they're not for me.
So that's
I
why
can talk for
maybe
five
Starlink
hours.
is coming up with a system whereby you
Yeah.
pay this specific amount a month and it's unlimited. Doesn't matter how
Mm-hmm.
much you use. You see,
Yeah,
it
I
Mm-hmm.
doesn't
think
matter
if
how
they
much you
can
use.
do the monthly would be good
Mm,
because I think these bundles they're just taking advantage of people.
mm,
Yeah.
More
So
bundles.
that's why I mean,
But
if
if
you
they can
yeah better off
introduce
going
like
with
monthly
Starlink. If it's Starlink, it's
subscription,
a monthly.
should be good. And it will
Yeah.
depend on the level, you
no.
know.
Kuku kupera feni unlimited. Use it as much as you want. It's unlimited,
Yeah,
but just pay this amount every month. Chap.
yeah, and then it will depend on the level you want.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the
Yeah,
only
I
way
mean, because yeah, I mean, it's
that
even
can
here
work.
they'll tell you it's unlimited, but at some point, if you overuse it, there you might get a message and say, "Hey, you're reaching your whatever." So until your next billing cycle will slow down your internet. That's what they do over here. You know
Uh,
that I've received those
inekuti
messages.
abashauta nga banji befyo oshakupokerera kulenda bofya sana.
I get those messages from
Mm,
Comcast.
mm,
You
mm,
know, like, hey, guess,
mm.
you're getting to 900. You have until, if you exceed 1 terabyte, it will slow down until your new, again, I'm a gamer, so I understand. I don't
Yeah,
care even if it slow down. I know I'll still get to my Netflix and watch uh, Arsenal, so all right, let's move on. But
let's
yeah,
move on.
let's talk about now the final before we go to the soccer games. Corolla update. So from October to I think Friday was the last time I checked on the statistics. So we definitely in Zambia we've had an uptick of almost 20,000 people affected by cholera, 500 deaths, and I mean, there's been a
500.
slowdown
Wow.
in infections. So, how do we tackle cholera? Why do we have cholera outbreaks every year, every rain season? There's cholera.
Yeah, one thing. Cholera really actually I call it a. It's been ongoing for the last, I don't know, 50 years. So, but it seems like we haven't found a solution for it. But we do have solutions, and the solutions are available for us to. All we need is just to implement them. You know, Iriashi, yeah, cholera, fico. It's just a matter of debt. And the way Lusaka has been designed, when it was designed, Akalefikuma 60s, everybody started moving into live in Lusaka and they started making illegal structures, which turned into shanty compounds. And those shanty compounds now, they exist with no proper, drainage system, no proper toilets, no proper running water. Just like that. And most of them, their toilets outside might be latrines. So that creates a very bad, unhealthy environment for Bantu. Because if once, for instance, to my end, to be about 5 or 6, they're using one pit latrine, Mamon. And then infulanga ya tampa, like in the rainy season, those things they get flooded. And then I mentioned tampo kweromba within the community. That's why you find that in Gawaya, if you ever go visit places like Garden or Wangwa or whatever, there's just a certain smell. There's just a certain smell. It's because of menshi, stagnant water. Oh, you always see water all the time. Just like that. You see? So that's a health hazard. You know how with kids are, they play there and stuff like that. And this creates problems, yama diseases, particularly. The only way we can get out of this is to start phases in dismantling AMA compounds one by one. Phase 1, you start one section, you clear out those old unhealthy homes and houses. Mwabatwala somewhere, people put them somewhere. Okay. Then you start rebuilding proper houses with proper drainage system and proper waste management. And not only that, the council should come in now and start doing what they used to do in the calendar days. They'll provide you with a bin. They'll provide you with water. That's the job of the council. And every week there should be a day in a week vaisa mgushta collect. Once they give you a bin, akale vale pele fima bin if you see overwritten jersey. Bami foolish. That's where you throw it if it's also. That's where you throw if it's also. Okay? Pose. No. Oktampo kuimba punch, and then that's not good for the environment. So once the council once those houses are properly designed and properly made, every household kuba pela mabini avili. Okay, one for if man and if wali and all that stuff, and the other for to recycle. And every week, specific day, mwaya muta collect. That's your job as a council. Mwaya mwasenda filia, mwaya mkuposa every week. It shouldn't be like a support day or whatever, and then first pile up. Those are the things if they tackle it. So stage by stage, once they do that, once for instance, Batampa na Kanyama, Kanyama yonse they have a proper township, with very nice homes, but cheap. They shouldn't be like very expensive homes. If possible, they back up like what if panga kalemana and can like come government flats.
Yeah,
that's gonna accommodate.
60 years in, really, we can't have piped water in Kanyama or Garden or Matero. Come on now. Of all the money that these people are stealing, the least Zambians deserve is piped water, flushable toilet. That's the least Zambians deserve, so that we can, for once and for all, take care of this cholera nonsense. It's an embarrassment. Like I'm trying to go to Zambia soon, and I have friends who are like, "Hey, can we come along?" And you know how people here are. Before I say, "Hey," they'll start be googling. Okay, the next thing that they will see is cholera. Cholera is dirt. It's dirt. It's so embarrassing. How should I market Zambia as a tourist destination when my tourists are going to be pulling out, cholera statistics? It's embarrassing. If anyone in the government, if you're listening in, please, 60 years in, Zambians deserves better. Piped water. The housing doesn't have to be spectacular. Just give them flushable toilets, so that we take care of this nonsense for once and for all.
Once and for all, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. But Lufia, it's almost too.
I think.
I had one. Action.
I think we have gone beyond.
Yeah, usually 1 hour. We always say 1 hour, but look at us. We are already almost getting 2 hours in. We forget ourselves sometimes. We need to go, but shall we then talk about the elephant in the room? AFCON 2024. After 2 games, we are stuck at 2 points. What's going on? I was talking to Mr. Mianda earlier, and he was saying, well, maybe the humidity is affecting our players. I said, Mianda, what about the other teams that are there? And then we had, we had come those boys in Dubai. Dubai is 2 times hotter than where they are now. You watch the game. I switched off once Tanzania scored because I had to go and take my blood pressure medication because that was just torture for me. What do you have to say on today's game?
Well, I think what confused us or what brought us a little bit aback was red card deal. That really messed up the whole system. After red card, Even the
Oh,
play.
somebody was red carded. Who was red carded?
The captain, Ruben.
Why was he red carded, Ruben?
Ruben, he was coming, but like they were fighting for a ball. Yakiwa Mumulu. So he was trying to get up to head, and Aurea Umbi was trying to. So, Pariapa Kustana Nikane, like Wajafe ball, Mavoko, and all that. So it looked like he injured the friend, and he already had a yellow card.
Yeah, VAR didn't help us this time around.
So he already had a yellow card, and then after that, Vampira and a yellow card him. I think the referee there was a little bit harsh because it was more like they're trying to fight for a boy Mumuru.
They collided.
Yeah, they collided.
There was a collusion in the air.
So him, I mean, it looked like he did it deliberately, but obviously, Ngamulete a ball, you won't know because you just want to get the ball, Mamon. So Vamupera Naimbi Yaba red. So that's how he and then that set us aback after that. After it set us aback, then what else? Then we started struggling.
As always,
the difference between a Premier League player and an average player.
What was the difference between? Who scored?
Didn't you see the
quality? I told you about Tanzania, but the moment they scored, I was done. I was done. I had to go take my blood pressure medication. I was so done. Because I expected but Paxton English, okay.
He scored a very, very, very brilliant goal. Brilliant. And then it will have a number, then that's how it ended. So otherwise, if it wasn't for Patson Daka,
we're going to pack today. We're going to pack. We're going to pack our bags. So what is this?
Because we're playing in Morocco next week. So
yeah, today we'll talk about Morocco. I can guarantee that. So I don't even have to watch. I think mark my words. We are losing against Morocco. Mark my words. I'm not even going to waste my time to watch that game. These boys just need to pack up and come to Zambia, and chance because they're the same. Tanzania are playing who?
I think they're playing Congo. I think.
Yeah. If they are playing Morocco. Morocco, they have won. They have drawn. So Morocco have 5 points. We can say Morocco have comfortably. Is it Morocco have 1 point? No.
They've got 4 points.
Oh yeah, they beat Tanzania.
They're top of us, so they've got 4 points. Congo 2 points, us 2 points, Tanzania 1.
Yeah, so there you go. So now we are working. I heard. Remember Lusaka? There was that team. What was it? Lusaka Diamonds. Is that Lusaka City or Lusaka Dynamos? Where we had that. There was that. We coined that phrase where we were saying Vasembe. Zambia, we are always working on probabilities. Like if this this team loses, then if we win, then we no. We never do things just straightforward. So anyway, I'm not going to say too much about that game or all the games that I played. I mean, I'm disappointed. So let's just talk about something that will make me happy right now. And what will make me happy right now is that my team, your team, everybody's team, Mr. Bachelufia, we got back to we got back to winning ways yesterday.
That was a good game.
Fantastic 5-goal route over Crystal Palace.
That was a good game.
God. Did you watch the game, Bachelufia?
Of course I did. That was a very, very, very good game. I think Martinelli, we don't give him the respect he deserves. Martinelli is one of the brilliant players.
Especially when he comes out. Yeah, when he comes out, yes. He's a good player. And you see what? The other one we really don't mention or give him enough flowers is Big Gabby. Our defender, Big Gabby. We have three Gabbies from Brazil.
Gabriels, yes.
I call Big Gabby our central defender. You know, because he got those 2 goals for us, right?
Oh yes, oh yes.
The
I think
first
one
two
was
goals were him.
yeah, one was disqualified, or which one was disqualified? There was
No,
one.
no, no. Oh, Jacob quite. Yeah, he scored 2, but he does two more than man. Let me go
I
back
think
to
Kwali
the
Moyo was straight disqualified. He scored. Martinelli scored 2. He scored 2. Jesus did Jesus score?
No, Jesus was an assist. I know that Big Gabi scored 2.
I think
Come
yeah was
on.
straight disqualified. Aqua Jesus, I think. I forget. There was one goal they
Gabriel.
disqualified.
Oh no, the other one they gave it to Henderson was it's an own goal. So Gabriel 11th, Henderson 37th. They said on goal, which I thought it was Big
Yeah, so
Gabi.
it wasn't. So it's 1. Yeah.
So Trossard had 1,
Mm.
Martinelli had 2. Yeah, Martinelli had 2. So yeah, we are back to winning, and first of all, yeah, we are back to winning. So we are basically sharing the second position with Man City. We have 43 points, but Man City, they have a game at hand, and they won't play until next Wednesday.
Mm.
Is it next Wednesday? Something like
I'm not
that.
sure. I haven't looked there. No?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, because they are playing their FA Cup coming up and all that. So
Mm.
Liverpool are playing Brentford today. Damn it!
Mm.
Yeah, you know they are playing Bournemouth. So they damn it 4-0 Bournemouth. Sure, yeah. So Liverpool are
That's a
top.
no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. But I think my team we have
Yeah.
about
No, I thought they would. Sometimes this um,
small guys.
bottom small guys they feel themselves. Sometimes they come and feel it. So yeah. Anyway, so that's what it is, and whew, that's that about football.
That's
I'm
that.
just
Yeah.
happy we are back to winning, and I hope we don't lose any more games because we can't afford. If I mean,
No, we can.
I, I don't know with our form whether I should say we are even going to win the league. At this rate, I'm just going to
Mm.
say I'll be happy if we are number 4 because there's no telling what type of team comes out the next game we have.
Mm.
You never know. But
Mm.
as long as he doesn't start, like I said the other day, I was telling somebody, like, if he doesn't start Kai Harvest, we are winning. And guess
Mm.
what happened? He didn't start Kai Harvest yesterday. And look at
Mm.
the results. So,
Mm.
so I'm going to say the next game we have, which is against who are we playing next? I think it's next week. If we don't start Kai Harvest, we are
Mm.
winning. I think, yeah. If we don't, oh yeah, damn it. We are playing Liverpool. But
Yeah.
still, if we don't start with Kai Harvest at home, we are winning. That's what I have to say. But if we
Yeah,
start,
Liverpool and
eh, of course, but if we start with Kai Harvest,
Mm.
Baka to Nyankula, if we start with Kai Harvest, Baka to Nyankula,
Uh,
but if the team that played yesterday, it wasn't bad. I mean, even Eddie was providing assists yesterday. So that one of the goals Martinelli scored, that was
mm.
the Eddie
Yeah.
Ketcher
Okay. Yes.
assist. Yeah, he did well in the middle. And Osaka didn't play yesterday. Like I said last time, he needed a rest. Yes,
Mm.
hopefully he rested for the Liverpool tussle, and I hope Ukuchina and Mosala Kochiri he gets injured.
Mm.
Yeah, because I just watched the game they were playing today, but within 1 minute, less than 30 seconds, Mosala was scoring.
Mm.
So yeah, so that's that.
That's that.
That's that for today. I think we've
Mm.
had enough until next week. We're back in direct on Bantu TV. So we have rebranded people. We are no longer the diaspora chatbooks, new name, which we love
Mm.
so very much. Bantu TV. More things, better things, more interviews, more features, more everything. We are
Mm.
back on direct
Back in
with
direct, guys.
more
Join us
fire
next
and
week.
more energy. Yeah. Join
Yep.
us next week, sometime, someplace. Keep the faith. 4 o'clock. Kuala Fita. Oh my God, this no. I hate hibernating. I can't do anything. Keep the
Everybody.
faith. Keep the
Okay, buddy.
faith.
Good night. Have a lovely weekend. Everybody have a nice week coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Bye.
All
Keep the
right.
faith.
Bye.